Man, probably a fun fact on me is that I like to read. Like I like to read. That's a lost art nowadays. Oh, my great uncle is Jesse Owens. Won 4 gold medals in 1936.
I always want to leave people with this, man, to all the viewers and everybody out there, man. Make sure you guys finish your story. Make sure you guys finish your journey because somebody's going to need it.
Yeah. All you gotta do is push the back button. That's all you gotta do. Push the back signal.
Try not to think about the future too much, so you can maximize the now.
Who's your favorite rap artist?
Man, to be honest, it's crazy. Tupac always been my number one, right? Like he got me through so much stuff, but Lil Wayne has been in the modern day.
I said, what does it really take? What does it really take to be great, Drew? And he looked at me and he was like, you really want to know? And he was like, to be honest, everything you did to get here, you need to be consistent times 10. What's up, everybody out there doing today? It's your boy, Coach Lee. Welcome to probably my second favorite show that we do. Obviously, the play call sheet on Monday nights is our thing. But this one, you're here for episode 2, and it's fast becoming my second favorite show. So I got a 1A and a 1B. It definitely will be the Chop Up. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us. You don't necessarily have to be sports related. We're going to kick it, hang out, do our thing tonight. But before we get started, I got to bring my brother from the Northeast. What's up, Tu? How you doing tonight, man?
Going on with you. Chopping it up. Making tacos. It's Taco Tuesday, by the way. This was good that you chopping up some ingredients to put in that taco. You know what to put in it. Some hot sauce. You know what I'm saying? To get it on, man. Be here tonight, man. Appreciate everybody coming in. Want a fun fact? Chris Ballard, shout out to you always tuning in. Usually one of the first people who comments. Shout out to you on that. Wilt Chamberlain never fouled out of a basketball game. That's a fun fact for you, and I seen that before I came in. So I don't know, give you a fun take. Maybe I'll give a fun sports fact on every show.
Chris might be the catalyst of starting something.
Absolutely, but I have a Joe Burrow lookalike coming on right now. Joe Burrow is gonna be in studio with us tonight, and he's giving out insurance tonight, man. Nah, this is my guy Jake from State Farm, man, about to come in. Tuning with us on the
What up? Dang, man. Saying I look like Macaulay Culkin? All right, then. I'll take that. Nah, good evening,
as long as you know, man.
Good evening, good morning, good night, all that good stuff. And welcome to the good old Taco Tuesday. And I believe I agree with Coach Lee. I think the chop up's a nice little sweet segue from the norm. Bring up our own little things and see what everybody else thinks about them. This is a really fun show to do.
Definitely. Hot takes in the NFL. Let me hear what you got. Facebook user on the hot take, man. Yes, I know Joe. He's here. Joe's here right now. Unk, gotta laugh at that, man. Disappointed in your team, Unk. I know you are Renegades. Ride Renegades after that stuff yesterday. 6:54 left, and I turned my TV off, and I wake up this morning and Tom Brady
Tom did him.
did him dirty.
Oh, dude, that was
Terrific Tom.
Season ending surgery.
there. You go. There's Daddy.
Heineke was the starter from the beginning of the season. Washington would be a better team, and Terry would be a top 12 receiver all year. Yeah, if definitely could be that, but we gotta also scheme things as well. It is the Commanders, so I'm not hoping too much on them. So
I hope Snyder never sells a team.
for real, man. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Shout out to Unc. Basically, you shout your name out, man. I can't see who you are. We here tonight, man. Chop Up represents, topics, maybe sports topics, but a lot of topics may be, outside of sports, what we usually talking about. So, bow down with us tonight. It's gonna be a good show. Stay tuned.
I will say though, I've got no stock in the XFL. I have not looked at any of the teams, but as much as we talk about the Arlington Renegades in here, that's the team I'm picking. So you heard it here first.
Let's go. The first team everybody can agree upon.
Hey, there we go. Hey, I personally don't have anything against the great state of Texas. But with the XFL coming up, I watched a little bit of it. COVID ruined it, shut it down. Got to take a quick look around the teams, and I was like, you know what? The Renegades, that's a nice name. I think I'm going to go ahead and stick with them. We'll go on ahead and be a bunch of Renegades fans here.
Yes, sir. Coach Bob Stoops over there heading it up.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
No doubt. So that Zachary said that Wentz is a bum. I agree.
Wentz is going to win.
Yes, he is. What's
There
up?
might be
Hey!
There might be a new quarterback tier. You got, the Kirk Cousins, the Ryan Tannehills. It's getting real close to throw Matt Jones up in that category. There might be a new bottom tier, which is the Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Things of that nature.
That's it. What did he say? Chris said, hate on Texas all you want. I've been there and nothing good there. Man, that's all cap.
Oh, I mean, Kevin Durant did go to college there, so I can see your point.
Throwing shots there.
For the best barbecues, and what you talking about, man? Tex-Mex. What you talking about? Sausage in the hill country. Man, you capping.
Hey, they do throw down on the Barbie. I'll give them that.
Of course, man. And East Texas barbecue is better than Austin barbecue. Book it.
But better than Kansas City?
I haven't had Kansas City. I've had St. Louis, and I was thoroughly disappointed.
Fair enough.
Kansas City is next on the menu. I don't think nobody can touch those on briskets, though. Barbecue. You probably put barbecue sauce in your barbecue. Yeah. And if you do, you don't know barbecue.
Nope. No barbecue.
Did you guys ever happen to see that Family Feud episode with Shaq? And Steve Harvey is doing Fast Money with him. He was like, before you get to the barbecue and you're about to start, what is one thing you need? And Shaq goes, barbecue sauce. Nope. Steve Harvey's like, you can't start the barbecue without the barbecue sauce. Forget the coal, the beef.
I was always raised on barbecue sauce is for bad barbecue.
I saw that and I'm just like, Shaq is made for TV, dude. I'm so happy he is on every bit of broadcasting that he's on. They threw him, Chuck, Kenny all on the same team, and I'm just laughing my butt off. I'm like, this is the greatest thing on television right now. If you're not watching this, you're not able to laugh.
I'm going to look that one up.
I'll send you the link if I find it. It's fantastic.
Do that. Definitely. Well, Josh said he want to be the one to start it off tonight. So, Mr. Josh, Jake, my bad player.
All good.
What's on your mind tonight?
Matter of fact, there's a guy at work that's been calling me Josh for 4 years, and I don't have the heart to tell him my name's Jake. So, fun fact. There's your fun fact.
For 4 years?
for 4 years calling me
Yeah,
Josh, and I
You gotta
didn't
ride it
realize
out, man.
I didn't realize it until after a year. I was like, he's calling me Josh. I'm like, well, I can't tell him now.
What's up, Josh?
Well, my topic of the night is about what's up?
My bad, being goofy.
All good. My topic of the night is about possibly the greatest UFC bantamweight to ever put on a pair of gloves, next to Dominic Cruz. TJ Dillashaw earlier in this week announced that it was breaking all over the place that he was retiring from the sport of mixed martial arts. And I personally am not the biggest fan of the guy, and it's not because of how he went out. It's because of the you guys probably seen maybe clips of it, the Conor McGregor thing, the little snake in the grass thing. That was about TJ Dillashaw. Uriah Faber and Conor McGregor did an Ultimate Fighter together, and Cody Garbrandt was on Team Alpha Male along with coaching with Uriah Faber, and there was a huge brawl in the outcome, and they were calling TJ Dillashaw a little snake in the grass because he left Team Alpha Male to go to a different gym with Dwayne Ludwig, who was the striking coach in Team Alpha Male. They both booked it, and they ended up winning a title and left Alpha Male in the dust. He pretty much turned his back on his team and went with someone else, won a championship. A lot of people won't say that's not dirty. That's Team Alpha Male just being bitter, but I'm a huge Cody Garbrandt fan and a very huge Uriah Faber fan. So maybe I am stuck in the bitterness, but I think TJ did him dirty, and it was rough. But what I really wanted to go over is, the career of TJ Dillashaw. He really is possibly the greatest bantamweight to ever put on a pair of gloves. His very first fight in the UFC, though, wasn't the greatest. He started off his professional career going 4-0, and he got the call from Dana. He lost in his very first fight on a fight night back in 2011 by TKO in the first round in just 2 minutes, which ain't really that good, but he went on a hot streak after that. I think he got, the lights and the glimmer down on him, and he knocked out four wins after that. 1 by unanimous decision, 1 by submission, and then 2 by knockout. Now, that's a really good bounce back, especially if you're trying to go after a title. But then he ran into Rafael Assunção, who beat him by decision, and it was close via the cards. I think it was like a 30-28. And he came back just 3 months later and beat Mike Easton, and it earned him a title shot. His very first title shot, and he did not disappoint. He had a very hard-fought 5-round fight against this guy. He's a Brazilian. It's hard to pronounce the last name, but it's Renan Barreto, and he beat him by a TKO head kick, and he became bantamweight champ for the very first time. He went on to defend it 2 more times to eventually losing it to questionably, possibly the better bantamweight of history, Dominic Cruz. He would have to fight very hard and wait a very long time to get that title shot back because he lost in 2016 and he did not get his title shot back until 2018. Or until, my bad, I lied. I'm just reading it wrong a little bit. But he ended up getting Cody Garbrandt, who was my favorite bantamweight, favorite fighter, in 2017. He beat Cody by knockout in the second round, and it was actually fairly dominant. Cody had a glass chin that fight for some reason, got KO'd. And he became UFC champ for the second time. Cody Garbrandt was awarded an immediate rematch 10 pay-per-views later, and he did not even get out of the first round. He got knocked out yet again. But they do what?
Glass jaw.
Yeah, he's got a glass jaw. He got absolutely destroyed. Cody Garbrandt's a fighter that fights with too much emotion. It has his heart on his sleeve, and he goes a little too overboard at the beginning. He empties the gas tank late, and then it leaves him open for a lot. He gained a lot of notoriety about, knocking Cody out twice, being the best bantamweight. Cody never got to get revenge back for the gym, which sucked. Henry Cejudo was the flyweight champ. He is the guy that beat Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, who is the best flyweight to ever put on a pair of gloves. He's just absolutely outstanding. Cejudo beat him and pretty much out-wrestled him. So Cejudo, a fresh champ before he got cocky, was fine with TJ Dillashaw coming down and fighting him at flyweight to try to become a double champ. TJ Dillashaw went down. So bantamweight is a 135 weight class, flyweight's a 125, so it's a 10-pound drop. So these guys are already pretty small. He dropped the 10 pounds, and he looked kind of, I wouldn't say putting in his hand. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Jamie. Cejudo knocked out TJ Dillashaw in 30 seconds. He got in there, got clipped, tried to roll away to get away. Cejudo was on him like flies on shit, and it was bad. He got absolutely pummeled. And after this fight, it comes out. This is where a lot of people say that his legacy's tarnished because of this. He got caught by USADA for taking EPOs. Again, I was trying to do the research about trying to exactly figure out what it is, but pretty much it's a rise in his red blood cells. He was dropping weight, and he was trying to replace it with something to where he wouldn't get tired. It helps the lungs and the kidneys. And Dillashaw was very, very silent over this, and he finally broke silence and pretty much said that he acknowledged that he used a banned substance, and it was his decision alone, and that's why he really felt bad about using it. Was in bad light, brought upon by his coaches, family, by association. He also said that EPO was limited to the Cejudo fight and said that USADA had retested all the samples prior to the drug test confirming this. Now, he knows that this is a banned substance. He took it, and Cody Garbrandt, again, like I said, it had a very good point that this is something that can be covered up, and that if they test it at the wrong time, it won't be caught. So he could have been using this EPO for multiple fights, but covering up for it. So you never really know. But USADA threw down a 2-year ban on him. He was able to make a return in 2021 against Corey Sandhagen, who was on the rise in the bantamweight division trying to go after a title. And he beat him by decision, which a lot of people are both on the fence saying that Sandhagen should have won. I thought he should have won. And then Dillashaw winning. He got injured and was sidelined for over a year, and they awarded him a bantamweight title shot because they thought that he was going to be able to beat Funk Master Aljamain Sterling. TJ Dillashaw is, I believe, 5'6". Yeah, he's 5'6", 135, and Funk Master, I believe, is 5'9" or 5'10", so he's got a pretty decent reach on him in height. And I was watching this fight live, and it was almost night and day on what Dillashaw used to look like and what he looks like now. He was slow. Apparently, he had a bum shoulder, a very bad knee. And Aljamain Sterling just absolutely manhandled him for the first round. And I think he re-injured his shoulder, or what it was injured worse. And then the second round, he ended up getting TKO'd by Aljamain on the ground. He went on to retire and this week, and it was because that his shoulder injury was so severe that they said that after the surgery that he has now, that he might have to get another surgery down the line in 3 months to repair it. And then at the end of the day, TJ said that it's not worth it. He's got a family. He was married in 2014. I believe he has a kid and or two. And he's like, it's just more important for me to worry about my family. Now, there were some, heavy criticism coming out about that Aljo fight that he had, saying that he took that fight strictly for money before he rode off to the sunset. If he became champ, he was going to retire that night. But if he lost, he was going to carry it on. He still got his money. He still got a bag. He still went out there, fought as well as he could. It just comes down to if you think that, what do you think about the EPO use? Now, like I said, this is something that can be covered up depending on how and when you use it, and that the drug testing. Because USADA, if anybody knows anything about how the MMA world works with USADA and getting drug tested, they can come at any time. You can be in your hotel room and they can come knock at 3 a.m. in the morning and you have to take a piss test right there. It's ridiculous how they treat the MMA fighters, and this is why a lot of people get flack, or the UFC gets flacked on USADA, but the UFC has no control over it. It's about what state they're fighting in and how they handle their testing. And TJ got popped. So I got a question for both of you. If you guys know anything about this, what do you think about this EPO situation that he had to deal with? Do you think that maybe he had used it for prior fights and he was able to cover it up because he acknowledged that he had taken it and was using it, but said it was only for this fight? I kind of find that hard to believe.
I find it hard to believe too.
Yeah.
Hard to believe too. You know what I'm saying? You get caught, you get exposed. You know, guy was a warrior in his career. I mean, records don't define yourself in the MMA. You know what I'm saying? But he was 17-5, 13-5 in the UFC. He's a guy that got opportunities because of what he brought to the table. And hey, man, a lot of athletes do it, you know, to attract a fan base and to continue winning is, you know, take a drug. Hey, you're not getting caught. You mentioned that, you know, the drug's not easy at times to trace. You know, he's obliterated. And then he loses 2 years of his career. Guy's 36. So he was probably between the age of 30 and 32 when he got hit with the suspension.
34.
34. So it's tough. It's tough, man. And then, you know, as careers go by, you know, you start feeling the effects of what you was taking, you know, what you've been taking, you know, in a contact sport, you know, combat sport where you're competing. Yeah, man. I mean, I would have took that money too against Sterling. There was no
chance. Sorry, I lied. He was 33. My bad.
33. Okay. So it's random in any sport now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't go. You know, get hit. You get hit. So I mean, no. At the end of the day, you just can't get caught. Got caught. Ended up getting caught in the ring, and then it catches up with you as your career goes by.
Fair enough.
And I do think longevity finally caught up to him. As Stu said, he is 36 years old. He fluctuated with weight because of trying to become a double champ. He did finish with a very nice record of 17 wins, 5 losses, 22 fights, and one of the most, probably the most toughest, grueling promotions that there is for mixed martial arts. The other question I have for you guys is, with the suspension, with admitting that he cheated, with admittance that he took this, does this guy belong in the UFC Hall of Fame? With all the accolades that he has, but he did get caught cheating.
Well, if there's any precedence as any other sport, baseball in particular, they kind of said if you get popped and you're using enhancement drugs, then you're cheating. So thus, all the records are still in the books. But from a performance standpoint, you cheated to have an advantage. Yeah, he got popped one time, but I just think he got caught this one time.
Yeah, exactly. I do believe that he was using it before for sure. But I guess it comes down to, I guess I'll find out and kind of have a better opinion on this when John Jones retires, because we all know about his story. Even if you're not following MMA, you know who John Jones is. I want to see if they put him in the Hall of Fame, in the UFC Hall of Fame, because if they put him in the Hall of Fame, that opens the floodgates to the steroid users, the EPO users, the regular drug, the cocaine and all that, because that's what he did, users. Just I'm interested in seeing how they go about it and see who gets in and for what reason.
See, guys like Brock Lesnar, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, we know he dealt with in the UFC as well. And Jamie had a good point. I'm going to put it up here. No need to speculate. In my opinion, he owned up to his wrong. He dropped tons of weight for that fight and did something to relinquish. Even if it was wrong, he never had to do that before. It sucks a lot of people are disrespecting him when he brought a lot to MMA. And you're absolutely correct. You know what I'm saying? And but in a sport like that, where you do things to your advantage, definitely. In MMA, hey, he's competing for titles. This job doesn't last long, depending on how your body can take it. So in that case, yeah, you give him a pass. But I mean, to the sport, it's kind of like, damn, for people who trying to come up in the sport, you face an opponent like him, he drugged up, But in the case of him being a Hall of Famer, we'll see. You know, John Jones, Brock Lesnar. You got guys that's gonna be coming up soon, and let's see if TJ Dillashaw. But what I see from him, he was a hell of a fighter, man. You know, energetic. You know, so man.
Yeah, well, I will say
I don't know a lot about him. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it was fun. It was interesting to hear about the suspension for the drugs and all that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I will say I am sad to see him go for the strict reason that he brought excitement to the bantamweight division. The bantamweight division, the lightweight division are my two favorite divisions to watch in the sport. And he brought excitement to it because you only had when he was going into the bantamweight division and making it something, you only had before the guys like Dominic Cruz, Joseph Benavidez, Uriah Faber. There was Anthony Pettis' brother. That was it. There was no one else in that division, and TJ Dillashaw brought an excitement to that division that these guys that are 135 can go out and throw rocks with their hands like crazy and knock you out quick. And that's where, names like Rafael Assunção started to come from because you started having these crazy fights between these guys. So I will say that, I hope he has a happy retirement. I feel bad that, his shoulder's completely bumped and his knee's screwed. Hopefully he can get the surgeries and he can, walk, hold his kids all the same way that he's always been able to. And I do like that Cody Garbrandt might be throwing still a little bit of shade, can't compete like a real man. Y'all had y'all fooled for years, still throwing shade at his old teammate. But what are you going to do when you have a heated rivalry like that for years? Cody's going to talk his shit even though he lost 2 times in a row to the guy. But yes, Cody, or I know TJ will never see this, but thank you for all the entertainment for years. I rooted against you, flipped you off many times, and hoped you lost every time. And I cheered like a little girl when Henry Cejudo KO'd you in 32 seconds. But thanks for your opinions over here on the TJ Dillashaw topic.
What you say? How you feel, man?
Definitely, hey. But if I'm a guy Rudy, I'm mad. I mean, he's the type of person, but at the same time, you always get that person, when somebody cheats. Like, oh, I was right there with him, and that could have been me, and you always get those people.
Yeah, that's all. That is all on my topic, Coach Lee. Thank you for the pedestal.
Hey, man, like I told you at the beginning, your boy is a novice at UFC or any type of MMA leagues, tourneys, any of the sorts. So you educated me every time you talk about it, and I appreciate that.
Hey, I told you I will get you into the MMA game eventually. I'm a little sad Will ain't here tonight because I know he'd have a lot more to say with me on this. But we'll hit it on the next chop up session. I'll make sure I get with him. And if anyone didn't hear, a little piece of UFC news. Robbie Lawler is out for UFC 282. He has I don't know what the word they use, but they didn't specify what injury he has or what's going on. He is not fighting Santiago. I don't know how to say his last name. These Brazilian guys got the worst names for me to try to pronounce. I ain't gonna lie. I can go ahead and get every one of the Chinese fighters, the Japanese fighters, Korean fighters. I can say their names fine. I don't even know how. But he gets to Brazil, hell no, don't even try. But Ruthless Robbie Lawler is out. UFC 282 starting to look like a real big bust. I'm sorry. I don't think that there will be a tap-out show over this pay-per-view. But for the next one, 283 is looking like a dang good show. So in January, I'm hoping to bring back the tap-out show because 282.
Hey, man, my guy Patty Pimblett, man, playing on that card. We'll watch him.
Hey, you're not wrong. He is there. The UFC light heavyweight title between Jan Blachowicz and
my
Magomedov Ankalaev.
Darren Till's on the card. My guy. If you didn't know, I got a picture from him. Got a picture with him last year. When I was in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Great guy. I actually gave me tickets to an event. I couldn't attend because I was getting on the flight, but this guy. Yeah. I'll be watching the card, man. Don't hesitate to do a show if you want, man. This card may be better than expected. Who knows?
Hey, you're not wrong. Stay tuned. These fighters coming out of England are going to be really, really good too. You got Arnold Allen Molly McCann did just lose, sadly, but she was going against a very young 24-year-old girl who's known for arm bars. Tom Aspinall's coming back from his injury that he suffered in the main event against Curtis Blades. You got your boy Patty Pimblett, Darren Till. Leon Edwards just won the belt from Kamaru Usman that no one freaking expected. Nathaniel Wood. I mean, all these guys coming out of the UK. The UK fight scene's looking real good right now for the UFC. I just wish Canada would throw out a good fighter here and there. But yeah,
When's the last time they had a good fighter, if ever?
All right. GSP. George St. Pierre is the greatest Canadian fighter to ever come into the game, possibly one of the greatest MMA fighters ever. So they got that at least. I don't know if two wants to do a tap out show. We'll go ahead and do it. We got to link up with Will and see if he wants in. And Coach Lee, you had to get on too. If we can get you into this more quickly, I think you'd enjoy the fight game very, very much.
Fair enough.
Oh yeah, all day. I'll be down.
I know too will be. He like to talk that stuff.
Get it in, man. You know what I'm saying? Learn and then talk and get it in. You feel me? Patty the baddie, man. Patty better represent,
Man, I'll tell you what, it is something else. I bet it's even better being at the show. It is a spectacle watching Patty the baddie come into an arena, not just an octagon, an arena. As soon as he goes and he's got his music going, everybody in the crowd's just doing the skull claps. Oh, Patty the baddie. Oh, Patty the bad. Oh, it's incredible.
Wow. Two?
Yo.
I bet you itching, huh? To get to your topic.
I'm not itching, you know what I'm saying? But I know I'm in the middle with a pile. So at some point, we're going to have to, anyway, but, hey, man, I got it. And enjoy Jake first, man, because, sports heads, you know what I'm saying? I was thinking all day, like, man, get the sports topic. But I'm like, I try to get out of sports, man. So, it's kind of good.
Oh, so you had a case of the me. We flipped. You got your topic in first last time, and I got mine in at the ring of the bell at 8 o'clock. I was the first one with a topic this time. That story had just broken, Coach. It said, hey, come up with your own topics, guys. I was like, hey, yo, TJ retired. Hey, I want to talk about TJ.
Fair enough. Well, man, we appreciate it. Jake, not from State Farm. My guy, man. We're going to go to our first break for the night. Then Two going to come back and hit us with some of his knowledge and his topic for the night. We appreciate y'all hanging out with the Chop Up. Hold tight.
Yeah.
What's up, world? Kyrie Robinson, man. New Orleans Saints veteran. Hey, man, make sure you guys go check out my guy, man, STWF, the media, man. Check them guys out. Y'all want to get sports talks with players, with fans, anything like that, man, go check them guys out, man. That's the place to be if you want to talk sports. Who that nation?
Yes, sir.
We head back at the Chop Up. We got the man with the plan, Coach. We got Jake, and we're going to get him to Stay Farm one day. And you're truly here, man. So appreciate everybody tuning in, man.
I would 100% take that job because then I could get off a third shift. But right now, I'll be perfectly content with what I got.
Gonna get you out of third shift, man. Hey, it was a long time for me. We up here, it's night shift, in Massachusetts, and I was trying to get out of it for years. Working night shifts. And now I have a fairly great shift, so we're gonna get you out of that, man. Now you do it or we do what we got.
I'm with it. Balled in completely.
Definitely. You know what I'm saying? And hey, this next topic, very, 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 very devastating, crazy. We gonna get into it. We all have kids. Coach, your kids may be a little bit older, but you dealt with the likes of dealing with them growing up. Jake, see your children running around, look like, some great youngsters. I have kids of my own. We all try to make sure they're safe, try to provide the best for them, give them everything they can have. There's times that, kids catch fits, get mad. But one thing I feel like we all have taught our kids, not to do is overdo it. And a sad situation in Wisconsin, as a 10-year-old being charged with first-degree murder after fatally shooting his mother. Mother is 44-year-old Quiana Mann. Boy's name is believe his name's not being given around because of his age. Apparently, shooting occurred on November 21st at 7 o'clock when the child took a gun from his mom's safe. Kid has the keys, don't understand why he has it. Goes downstairs in the basement, said he was crawling the gun. Mother asked him what was he doing with it. Asked for a VR set off Amazon. Mother said no. He pulls it accidentally. He says and shoots him. Now, family members are saying that weeks before or going into that day, he's had evaluations and things of that nature with therapists and people that classify in that need to help kids out. It said that this behavior has been something incoming, not to shoot his mother, but the misbehaving, the disrespect, and things of that nature. For not letting them buy something on Amazon. This trend with children at a young age and these days are ridiculous. I was touching up with Lee before the show in regards to someone shooting their father because he took his laptop and told him he couldn't be on Instagram. It's becoming a toxic situation. Toxic times with kids being ignited and being introduced to things like social media and things that at our age we never was given to. We had to kind of grow up to, do what adults do or whatever they want to do. And that's the term that we use when we're young, saying, when I'm an adult. But these kids aren't adults. So before I get a little bit more on the story, I want to hear you guys' input to what I just said. It is devastating. How do you feel about that? You having children?
I go first. It's okay.
Yep.
So for me, those type of stories are heartbreaking. I'm old school. I was raised old school. I have input. My parents were both baby boomers. I spent a lot of time with my grandparents growing up. So I've got old school values. And for me, it would have never even entered my mind. I can't even fathom much talking back to my parents. Much harming my parents and my grandparents. I'm almost 50 years old. And my dad says it's cool, but I slip up every now and then and I cuss in front of my dad. I feel awful because I'm like, at the end of the day, I got to show my father respect. I can't just be dropping short words and stuff like that. Especially my mom's in the room. If my mom's in the room, I'll probably say 99.9% of the time I will not cuss. My dad is slips out from time to time, but I'm just old school in those values. And I think a lot of people got away from that. They try to be the kid's friend, so the respect value is not there. I'm pretty sure that's nothing new. But I think also once they get corporal punishment out of school, that some of the kids that were at home whose parents were probably not involved, like I say, I don't think it's nothing new. But school was probably the only time they were giving any type of example of how to behave or showing that there's consequences for your actions. And now that element is gone, so you just got to just keep just wilding out. The other thing that I think of in the aspect of that is this may be a very unpopular topic, but I mean it in the sense of they took bullying out of school. Bullying was no problem. It was bad. It shouldn't be in school. But if you think about it, the bully that was in your school, normally those guys, they were gone around about 7th grade. They were probably a kid that was like 16 years old, still in junior high, and they just kind of aged out. And I won't mention any names, but I know 2 guys in 6th grade that were the bullies in 6th grade. I don't remember one past 6th grade, and the other one, I don't remember him past 7th grade. They both were there when I got there, and they were there when I left. So, in that aspect of it, though, there was a hierarchy. You knew that you couldn't act a certain way, or you had consequences from a bully, unfortunately. And now kids just wild out. They're desensitized to how people react or harming people and things like that. I saw a video the other day where there's a bunch of guys come in to mask up, like in California somewhere. They got on a backpack and they're in there in the Apple store and they're stealing laptops, phones, all type of Apple demo. First off, we all know if it's Apple, they got tracking devices on. It's brick, before they leave there. Secondly, they're stealing that, and somebody was in the comments was like, well, maybe they need it. But then somebody pointed out one of the guys got on a $500 hoodie. So why are they stealing? So it goes back to just values have deteriorated. There's no consequences at home for kids. Parents are not involved as they should be. I was always a parent. If I got a call from school about my kids, unfortunately, I assume, what did you do? They're not picking on you. Now, if there's a situation where I went and I found out about it and it was some undue treatment going on, then we addressed it. But every time any of my 3 kids got in trouble at school, it was always found that they did it. Because kids are deaf, but I know my kids are assholes. They're like me. So I know that they're giving teachers a hard time at school, under certain circumstances. But it was more of like, especially with my son, he was always like, the teacher, did this to me or that to me. I didn't respect her, her or him. And I'm like, you can't act like that at school. Just, if they're not putting their hands on you or they're not in your personal space, just listen to the direction, come home and vent to me and mom. Or you feel like at that point in time, you come home and tell us, we can call for a parent-teacher conference. We've done that before, and we've addressed some stuff and got it taken care of. But I think it goes back to parents trying to be, kids' friends. I just can't fathom, especially in this example that you shared with us, I can't fathom harming my mom and dad, man. That shit's weird to me.
It's definitely weird.
Sorry to so long of it.
No, you're good. No, I'm 100% with Coach Lee. I'm only 26, but my dad was in the Marine Corps in the 80s, the early 80s. So when I growing up, it was like boot camp for me. I knew the rights from wrongs. If I did something wrong, ass whoopings were involved. Talking tos were involved.
That's another thing. Ass whoopings. Ass whoopings is not. The ass whoopings is like you can't even do that no more. That's like you go to jail or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, that's one thing to eliminate. But go ahead, Jake. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. And you were taught the rights from the wrongs, and I don't mean that in a bad sense or anything, but it was literally boot camp growing up. Me and my brother and my sister knew what was expected of us. We had parents, and it's pretty much like that there was an old something I heard, watched, or said about a parenting thing. Said, you're a parent until they're 18, then you're their best friend. That's what happens. You are the shoulder to cry on, the disciplinarian, and everything. And then 18, that's when you guys turn into best friends. And I'm like, that's exactly what it turned into. I waited 18 years to get my best friend, and that's my dad. And it's just a fantastic relationship, and I could never think about doing that. Yeah, I asked for something I don't get. I'm gonna, bitch and cry about it, go somewhere else, and then after about 30 minutes, an hour, I'm gonna forget about it. Oh, what I want again? Oh, why do I even cry like that? I feel like a baby. You just complain about it. You don't get what you want. Who cares? You get yelled at. Get over it. You probably did it. You probably deserved it. So just do. And I heard about the laptop thing, and I was like, that's just ridiculous. You get the laptop taken away, and then you shoot your dad. You're never going to be able to see that person again because you did that. You have to live with that. It's just, I don't get it. It's like you said, it's wild to me. It's unbelievable. It's something that it's downright disturbing, to be honest. This person brought you into the world. You should be grateful. Some people don't even have a father. Some people don't even have a mother, and you just took away yours. That's selfish. That's wrong. You have other siblings, maybe. It's weird. I can't imagine my life without my parents. And that too about you don't think that you could cuss around your mother or your father. It's like I think the same way, and I try my best to hold my tongue around my mother and father. So I'm not like 99 like you. I'm more like 75%. But when I'm around my grandmas, I never cuss.
Right. I ain't got no more energy for that.
Both my grandfathers are gone, but both my grandmothers are still here. I never cuss around them. I P's and Q's, suit and tie, all that crap. I'm making sure I'm good because I'm like, that she's old school. You know, you're done if you step out of line one time. I just don't get it's entitlement, and I don't get where these kids are getting entitlement from.
Not all this intellect and the internet and social media and being around things that shouldn't be around and all this stuff, man. Like it's terrible, man. And then here it is in the story. Like this is the family members, according to his honest sister, the child never cried or showed remorse for his mother's death. Instead, he allegedly logged into an Amazon account and ordered the VR Oculus headset a day after the shooting. The same day he admitted to the crime, yet lacked emotion, and quote, "I'm really sorry for what happened. I'm sorry for killing my mom." And then the boy proceeded to ask, did his Amazon package arrive?
Right? I don't mean to laugh, but man, these kids are fucking crazy.
Crazy. According to the General Senator, the boy was charged as an adult last week. Charges include first-degree reckless homicide, and he's being held in the county juvenile detention facility. His bond has been set at $50,000 and has a status hearing is scheduled for next week.
Wow. That's terrible, man.
It's insane.
Insane, man. These kids got to be taught better, they're better, they're on the right directions. When I was growing up, those community centers, Boys and Girls Clubs, people say, oh, that stuff's watered down. No, it's the parents not bringing their kids to these places. And that's what needs to change. You know, that's what we grew up at. So I want your kids out in the community just like that. You know, it's parenting, then, you know, sometimes with co-parenting, the father takes the kids on the weekends or on days, depending on the situation. It has to be better on both sides.
I mean, it's also, I feel like this PC era is also kind of really watered down, like you said, the discipline. There's no way to correctly discipline your kid besides looking at them when they're being bad and say, now little Johnny, you can't do that. And then all they're going to do is up yours and then go and do it again. That's literally how I see a lot of kids act. And then other people, it's like the kid's acting bad in public and you got to try to calm them down or you know, do something. And you got people looking around you like you're weird and you're not handling it the right way. Me and Jamie, we switch off. We had Cooper in the mall one time and we were trying to look at something in Hot Topic, trying to get a Funko Pop or something. He saw something he wanted. We said, no, you can't get this. If you wait, we can go and get food and then go check out Target because everything at Hot Topic's ridiculously cheaply made and they will break, sadly. And he was freaking out and me and her switch off depending on, you know, where we're at. I was like, okay, look, I'll take him outside of the store or I'll take him to the car. I'll get him calmed down. We can move on from there. And then you go down there and because we're in public, you can't discipline the way that you would discipline at home. I sit down and I calm him down. It takes 20 minutes, but he's not being loud anymore. He's not causing a scene. I understand there are better ways to go about it, but that's not going to stop him from doing it again. Now, if you whoop him or you do this, you have to start him talking to, you get him to stop whatever way you can, but it's the no hurt feelings era that these kids are getting more entitlement from because you can't discipline them.
It's like they're the dominant one. They're Shaq. They ain't Shaq. Ain't no shit. No.
It's like the kids are supposed to. The kids are living in our world, and we're trying to teach them better so that they can go out and make their own world. Instead, they're entitled, and this is my world, and you walk where I sleep, and I'm just. I don't get this era, and I want my kids to be respectful, grow up, and do whatever they want to do, and be happy, and love everybody and everything. It's all I try to teach them, and I really got no other thing to say about this. This is just so freaking crazy and wild knowing that stuff like this is going on.
You know, I remember in particularly 2 instances where I felt like things shifted. The one was kind of like, I think I was in college at the time, and you started seeing, what they call participation trophies, where everybody's a winner, everybody gets awarded. But we all know as adults, it's not how life works. There is going to be some disappointment, there is going to be some heartbreak, and there is going to be some downturn. And these kids don't know how to receive that. They don't know how to do constructive criticism. They don't like being told no. Thus, especially in these 2 different stories, they were told no. And the second thing that I noticed is in the situation, whereas I'll probably go back to when they took the corporal punishment out of school. Again, I've always said that I remember growing up and seeing kids that I knew. There were certain kids in the neighborhoods where you knew that you can go to their house and there was little to no adult supervision. And I mean, it just all wild out. And I remember a couple of those. I'm not going to throw anybody's business out there, but a majority of them, life didn't turn out the way they probably wanted it to, but it turned out the way that we probably thought it should have turned out, based on not having any morals, values, or accountability at home. Can we get back to that? I doubt it. The cat, it's like what they say, the toothpaste is already out of the tube.
Toothpaste is already out of the tube, bro. One of my favorite lines, man. No bull. You can't even fit it back in, and it's crazy, And that's a good point you made. Like, because the way life didn't end out in the situation you wanted it to, so you're moping around when you have children and you don't want them to resemble that.
And Jamie, you're exactly right. These 2 next statements, raising materialistic children who don't value the important things in life, and you work for what you have or you will have nothing. I remember me and my brother and I are 8 years apart. Now, he might be in here tonight too, watching. I remember growing up, my parents, they always taught us the value of working hard for stuff. We weren't given anything. Everything came from either your grades, or you did your chores, or you behave yourself properly. Once it got to the point to where we wanted the extra stuff, like the Nintendo wasn't enough, we want the latest and greatest video games. My brother and I started cutting yards at an early age. Or we picked up cans. We did something to hustle to make money. And our first color TV, he and I were roommates up until I went off to college. Our first color TV we ever had in our room, we actually had to buy it from my mom. It was her old TV. She charged us $100 for it, for like a 30, I think it's like a 32-inch or something like that. But we had to buy it from her. She gave it to us early on credit, but she taught us the value of, you want something, you got to work towards it. Same thing with my dad. My dad, he worked during the daytime. He was essentially in the livestock, so he's a farmer at night. So my dad would work all day. It's like it would be sometimes I wouldn't see my dad until the weekend. My dad didn't have a chance to watch me play my first football game until I was a senior in high school. My dad was always working. So from that standpoint, that's the same way that I raise my kids, based on, I can only go by how, my point of reference. And, all my kids, 2 of them are already gone. But I was glad, and the proud moment for me is all my kids, for the most part, they've been out on their own. They've been somewhat successful. It's going to be some hiccups here and there, but one of my kids, they already, they're probably giving away. They're 25, and she's already on her third vehicle that she's been able to buy without a cosigner. My son's, he's 23 now. He's able to buy his first vehicle without a cosigner. So things like that lets me know that they value hard work. They all got great jobs. And I know it was a situation whereas I'd have to go, I sleep good at night. Because I know they're not out there going hungry. They're not going without because they know what to do. They were given a blueprint on what to do. Yeah, I sound like an old man because I am.
No, solid points, man, for kids growing up, man.
So you're giving me tips.
Me and Jake got children that are growing up in the society, man, and we gotta, teach them the ins and outs, man, and the rights and wrongs, man, and steer them in the right direction, as well as everybody that has kids. I mean, it's definitely harder than we're speaking about, So you definitely gotta, be on your grind.
That's my brother comment right there too. You got to work for it. No shortcuts.
Definitely, no shortcuts.
Yeah, he and I, man, we hustled. I remember when I got my first job in 10th grade, the very first thing I did is because my parents were frugal. We got what we needed, not what we wanted. And when I got my first job, the first thing I did, I bought me some shoes, the several pair of tennis shoes I wanted. And I always made sure that my little brother was fly. Because I didn't want him to have to go through what I went through, getting clowned because you ain't got the latest and greatest. But at the same time now, he saw me providing for him. He's always had that same work ethic. And my brother, he does some amazing stuff, man. And, he's always been like that. He's always been resourceful. He always keeps great employment, and he's the guy. He should be telling jokes professionally. I know you in here, but yeah, man. He's
comedy night.
For me too.
Fact, Jamie. Fact, man. Now, a bunch of great facts tonight. Sorry I couldn't read them all. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get in the hints of. I gotta shut my homies down sometimes to get comments in, man. But same time we see all your comments, put them up here. Love. Whoa, man, definitely. This right here, man. Parents buying love, not giving love, man. Woman that minds prepare for real life. It's real life. Because real life, it's not going to be nice to you.
It's not.
At all. You got to be ready for that.
You got to give kids the tools they need to succeed. I've always told my kids, I'm here for you, but I ain't here for you if you're bullshit. If you're bullshitting, you're on your own. But if you handle your business and there's a situation that you need some coaching and guidance out of, you can always come to mom and dad, and they understand it because I don't co-sign on bullshit.
Right. Yeah. No, I know you probably didn't get the luck of the Ohio weather, but I always looked forward from 12 to 16. I always looked forward to the first snow because I know I had at least 10 yards to cover.
Yeah, see?
Or 10 driveways. I go and find them. I think the thing I didn't like about it the most was the salting part. As soon as I got the snow up, I was like, oh, this looks great. Oh shit, there's a ton of ice down there. Get the cup.
The only money we ain't making money on is our houses, the shovel. But every other house, oh yeah, I'm bringing that shovel. That's my old days working. You know what I'm saying? If I wanted those sneakers, if I wanted anything, best believe when that snow drop and there's a big storm, some good snow, we out there with the shovel trying to make some money. Definitely.
Yeah. You waited till the snow stopped, so that way you didn't have to redo it either. But you still got your 10 yards on that day. I live on a block. I live on the same block that I was raised on. I live 2 doors over from the house I was raised in.
Really?
My parents are 2 doors over still right now.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and I'd be able to go around the block and definitely head up 10 yards. As soon as the snow was done, I woke up. I was good, bundled up, tried to leave the door. My mom's like, don't forget your extra jacket. I'm good, Mom. Take the extra jacket. Yes, ma'am. And go ahead and I walk out with the shovel. And I'm like, all right, what do I want to start? What's the biggest driveway so I can knock that out first? And I go up and every 10 people, you're the only one that comes by, so we don't mind paying you. We don't know why people don't like to come out and shovel snow anymore. It's like, you people purposely wait for us to come here because you like seeing the side hustle. You understand. And when you only see me doing it, that means I'm gaining respect. I'm winning.
You had to build hay and feed the livestock to get any spare money. grandparents that had no handouts. Absolutely, man. I wasn't had no handouts either, man. Listen.
Work, man. Make you a better person at the end of the day. These kids don't want to work, man. I trip out on these kids. They're like in junior high. I'm sorry, in high school, and they never had any type of high school job. Okay, that's cool. I get that. But then it blew my mind when you find out they're in college. They don't know how to cook. They don't know how to clean. They don't know how to wash their clothes. And recently, I was able to go to a certain event where some educators were there, and they had me rolling that the new thing now is kids don't know how to do self-addressed stamp envelopes, and they don't even know how to construct email.
Construct email, cursive writing.
The cursive part I knew about because my mom was a teacher. I knew about that, but the email.
Real quick, Jamie had to show me and teach me how to write my first check like a year ago. I didn't know how to do that. Yes.
See, when I was in school, man, that was something they taught us. They taught us how to do envelopes, how to write checks. And it's those life skills that they get away from. Everything now, I don't even like the fact that kids don't know how to write cursive. Their signature.
They think it's all about technology now. They think that there's a changing of the times, so they try to use all the technology stuff to use it.
But it's if you got to sign a contract or you got to sign a legal document, they're printing their name. They're
exactly.
Not even
cursive. Yeah, I remember learning cursive second grade. I hated it, but I still use cursive to this day because as soon as you got in third grade, it's got to be in cursive. It's got to be in cursive. I loved every time they said we could type a report. I'm like, oh, we can type? Hell yeah, let me do this again. Because I'll go ahead and I start typing because I hated writing cursive so much. But now every time I got to go and write something, I'm always writing in cursive because it's like if I see print, my handwriting's already junk. I got a kindergarten's handwriting. But if I write it in print, it looks like garbage. If I write it in cursive, it looks like slightly less garbage.
See, career investigation class. I think that's my brother again. You talking about Miss Forsyth? I think it was called occupational investigation when I was in school. And we learned about all that stuff.
Yeah, we had something called building life skills in high school, but I think we had freshman year. So it's like y'all are teaching us this at 14 and not in senior year when we should. It's crazy. I don't know. They also had like an early childhood education class or something.
I remember that.
To where you had to carry around this plastic baby doll for like a week so you knew what it was like to have a baby. It's like, these are a bunch of 18-year-olds. What's making you think that are you saying someone's going to get pregnant here? That's why this class is here? Nah, hold on. It's not like that so that you know what, yeah, all right.
You know what it's like now, and then you wouldn't have one, but unfortunately, even if we did do it, we ain't listening.
I'm not going to lie to you. I really wish I would have taken that class knowing that I was going to have a kid a year and a half once I graduated. It would have been helpful.
Well, man, that was a good second topic, gentlemen. Y'all ready for the last break?
Yes, ready for the last break.
All right, be back in about 15, 20. Hold on to your butts.
Let's get it.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Darwin Price, man, Ground Sound. I want to give a big shout out to STWF Media, the big brand. You know what I'm saying? Where you can talk sports with NFL players and all type of fans, man. Go follow them on Facebook community. The big brand, STF Media, man. Shout out to them. Thank you for the support. Go follow them, Facebook, everywhere.
Appreciate it, people. We're back at it like we're mad at it. Appreciate y'all. Up. We're on the last segment, the finish line. Now it's old man time. So I'm finna beat a dead horse because somebody pissed me off in the group today. You know how you are. You can eat or you know what.
Eat or you know what.
Dang, I must have missed this.
Oh yeah, it ran me a little hot, man. But anyhow, so the big news story obviously is Coach Prime, as they call it. I'm gonna call him Coach Sanders, because him, taking the Colorado job. A lot of people are piling on him the same manner that they pile on Kyrie. I get it. Well, let me reframe that. There's a certain demographic of people that piled on him. So Coach Prime is getting that same type of hate, man. So a lot of people are basing, all this stuff off of emotions. You can't base your logic off of emotions. If you do have an emotional response, at least come with some facts. So there's some people that feel like him leaving, he shouldn't be considered swag. Last time I checked, he was an employee of a HBCU, which is in the SWAC conference. And I don't think you can tell the Jackson State story without mentioning his chapter in that book. JSU is in the SWAC. So thus he's going to be down as part of the history of the SWAC, right? No, that's factual. But a lot of them are still proclaiming him as not being SWAC. You can't give somebody the title of SWAC just because they work there. What were your contributions while you were there? So let's look at some evidence, in Coach Sanders' time at JSU in the SWAC, and why his SWAC chapter should be considered as one of the most instrumental ones among the SWAC coaches in league history. So a couple of facts that I'm going to try to present. They can be verified just with a simple online research. Don't be lazy. Got your phone. Check it out. Right?
Start in your hand.
Right in your hand. So the first one is bowl games. He made a bowl game in each of the last 3 years that he was there. Right? Before he got there, they hadn't participated in a bowl game since 1971.
Hello.
Damn.
That's 51 years. Or at that time frame, 48 years. Since 1971. That is crazy. Media impact there, right? Let's look at some of his other contributions he did. He went to Jackson State to catapult his college coaching career. But you got to remember, part of the reason why he ended up there, because there was always a rumor circulating that he was going to go to Florida State, right? But Florida State said they didn't want him as a coach because he didn't have a college degree, which is crazy. He's got a PhD in football. He's probably, well, in my opinion, he's the best covered corner ever. So, you can't discount that. The other thing was, I think it was, we talked about this last night too. Coastal Carolina, Florida Atlantic, I believe it was UCF, turned him down because of how things ended in his charter school here in Dallas. So he tried to go other avenues in his home state. I don't know where he grew up at, and he was declined for that. So he went to the HBCU in Jackson State. The thing about it is, he went there. Not only did he leave the school better than he found it, he left the city essentially better than what he found it. Now, if you're going to spotlight him, using Jackson State for himself, his benefit, okay, that's cool. But you can't leave out the fact of what he did for the for the city of Jackson. They used his influence. He had a crap load of resources that he provided to help, bring money into the city. Before Dion, though, if you think about it, probably, there are some legendary coaches in the SWAC and HBCU, but how many made an immediate impact as he did coming into fresh off the box? What other HBCU coach can you think of that came into a conference and did the same thing he did? What other HBCU alumni has come back to the conference and did something similar to that? I can't think of it. The big name, I think Eddie George is at Middle Tennessee State, I think. And I forgot it's another player. I forgot where he's at. But those aren't even the schools they went to. They all went to Power 5 schools, but they came back to the HBCU. So Coach Sanders did what he said he was going to do. He's going to bring him back to permanent. Came into a losing program, and he turned him into winners almost overnight. But the key thing is, while he was doing this, he showed other HBCU programs that it's possible to be successful and showcase the talent of your players. And he ain't the probability of them being successful. He gave them the blueprint for that. And at the same time, he let for other kids who may have aspirations to go to Power Five, you may not go to Power Five, or you may not be skilled enough to go there, but you can still go D1 at HBCU and still, get some valid experience and playing time. My question is, now that he's done, what is his replacement going to do? They're going to come into a situation that got new stadium, new facility, existing partnership with sponsors. What are they going to do? As any coach is walking into that situation, you should not fail unless you're not he donated half of his salary to finish the locker. He didn't have to do that. Well, my question is, how confident are we that they're going to be able to keep the place in a way that they know that they found it? Point number 3, conference championship. Before he arrived there, the last time they won a conference championship was 2007. That's 15 years ago. Before that was 96. So from 97 to 2020, they had one conference championship. He showed up there and he got 2 in 3 years. And he also coached one of only 4 Jackson State teams to win a Black College National Championship. Now, with that being said, he played. He implemented his program. Obviously, he reaped the benefits of it with his team, so he got Coach of the Year consideration. Jackson State had not seen a Coach of the Year recipient in 15 years. Right? He won Coach of the Year the last 2 years. Before that, the last coach to win it was Rick Komegi in 2007, and he only did it one time. So I'm going to stop right there. I left out some facts. I'm interested to see what you guys think about that.
I got what people were mad at first. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like what the minority in America, kind of goes to whenever, something like this happens. A guy, HBCU, Deion Sanders, went over there, making noise, left the school in a great spot. And I agree with you, Coach. People are mad at that. People are mad because they want him to continue that and not want him to grow. And this is the problem in America. You don't want nobody to grow. You don't want nobody to expand and all that. You mad because he went to Colorado. You mad because he's bringing guys with him. What type of stuff will you do when you level up? This is what you do. Deion leveled up. We didn't expect him to level up this fast, but it's there. The opportunity is there. We think of guys like Rich Paul, no degree, but now one of the best agents in the game. You just think of this. People leading to get way for themselves. And the network is going to click at one point if you keep networking. And that's what these guys
get off your ass.
Right. Deion, Deion prime time. Anybody nowadays, there's people that get jobs on ESPN because of who they know and all that. And Deion had to fight, just to coach. Because of the degree standpoint. And nowadays you see a lot of people get jobs, you don't even need degrees. So the people in this world talking about degrees, hey, they still staying on standard, and I understand that. But shout out to them days later. I was one of those people that was mad, not mad because of the whole HBCU thing and all that. I was just mad at the fact that what transpired, but it's media. And I also did say that Prime's going to do what Prime does for himself. And it's not greedy, it's not a shot, just what any human being would do. Prime likes the spotlight, so he took a few things. I'm swag and all that. Ultimately, he did say he's going to take a gig if he presents himself.
He told him.
Right. He earned that right. He's earned that right to go to Colorado, change them around, where the last 5 out of 7 coaches have been fired. only 2 winning seasons in the last
17 years.
Yeah, 15 years, and he's leading there. So he's already going to be down at the bottom being told that he can't do it. That's going to be a hurdle. You're going to ride with Dion? We're going to ride with Dion. We're going to see what he can do out of it. You know what I'm saying? Shoot him to him to try to do something to it. Anything that's been put across from him, he has defended it well. And this is another hard hurdle and another obstacle, man. You know, and hey, Jackson State's going to eat off this. A lot of people are going to eat off this.
As they should. Blueprint's there.
It's going to be great. I like to move days later. At first, I was one of those people that was like, man, damn, he left like that and all that. And then I heard a couple of things, you know, he knew for days that he had this job and all that, holding it back, media back. Shout out to the people that held it back.
Yeah. The interview was 3 days before he did the press conference.
Because in media, that never happens.
No.
Stuff like that never happens nowadays. TMZ's at your crib like this, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So, Jake, I'm going to let you ride it out. You know what I'm saying? Your discussion, man. I feel about it.
Personally, I'm kind of surprised he didn't pick Cincinnati, to be honest with you, especially with what Luke Fickell was able to do, because he would have had some – and I'm not saying that because I'm a Cincinnati fan. You guys saw the video the other day. I'm a Xavier fan. I'm okay with seeing UC do well, but I'm an Ohio State fan. The hard UC fans hate us. Not the point, though. I'm off topic. He was only there for 3 years, right?
Right.
And he did all that in 3 years. And I believe he has an assistant coach taking over the job for him. And I believe during the and by the way, I liked how he handled it with his players. He brought them all in the meeting room and he sat down and talked and pretty much gave them a state of the affairs meeting of what was going on. And I believe the guy sitting next to him is the guy that might be taking the job over, but I'm not sure. But I like how he phrased it. You either elevate or you get replaced. He's elevating. He earned it. He did it himself. He brought a school that no one really heard from, or they really did anything. What would you say that was? 2007? And then no bowl game since the 70s?
Yep.
He earned this. You can't take this from this man. He elevated. I hope he does well at Colorado. I think he handled it as maturely as any grown man could. And I don't think it's because of chasing money. I mean, this is prime time. You guys got enough money. I mean, come on. What does he need the most Vegas outstanding contract from a college program for? He doesn't. He's doing this because he loves football.
Some of that money, from my understanding, that he's getting from Colorado, that's for salaries for some of his coaches.
He's walking into a very, very rough situation.
And also he what was it? I think there was a rumor thing that I want to message you about after the show because I saw something about it on Facebook and I don't want to bring it up in here and have anyone talking or chirping about it. But I also liked how he handled the students and the players because he said there's a few of you guys that I want to talk to because the transfer portal opens up Monday, right? And he was like, yeah, everyone told him, yeah. I want to talk to a few of you, and I'm really thinking and hoping that it wasn't to, hey, come to Colorado with me. It was no, think about where you're at and what you're doing and what stake that you've already claimed and like what you've already built for yourself. If you go somewhere else, you could tarnish it. He wanted to make sure that his players were on equal footing and that they didn't ruin the futures of their careers that they would probably have or that could elevate or lower. And I believe that he still had 10 people enter the transfer portal, but he still handled it like a coach should. He's not doing this as, just some dude from NFL that's trying – not a Jeff Saturday situation, even though I'm perfectly okay with Jeff Saturday being a coach. He is handling this very well. Like Tu said, though, he's going into a very, very rough situation, and I'm hoping it pans out very well for him. And I'm not a person that was a hater over it. I am just kind of shocked that he didn't take UC because UC kind of – they're a silver platter waiting to happen. All you got to do is go in there and get your recruits. You're going to a big-time conference. That they had an okay season last season, and then they went to the playoff 2 seasons ago. So I'm kind of surprised, but I think he wants to go to another place that's nothing, down and dirty, and he wants to build it up himself.
That's his legacy.
Prove himself, because he wants to elevate himself again, and I respect the hell out of that.
The bar is the bar. 1-11 last year for Colorado. 10 losses by 23 points or more. That's going to be interesting. But the thing is, before I wrap this up, and Coach, you might have some more intake too. It's the fact that, and damn, look at my trainer, the coach of the new coach of Jackson State, whoever that is. You have to keep that momentum going. You know, you may not be prime, you know, where you can kind of balance and have somewhat control of a lot of the day that's going on. And that's another question, too, how the AD and the school handles all this. Because Prime was able to get away and do things, you know, based off the stature and what he was doing. Can this coach 1 do that? Can the coach 2, you know, keep them on the same balance? Because all that new stuff and all that stuff that he's left with, still got to treat it nice. You know, can't let it get rusty, you know, and hopefully he can do that. So interested to see not only Jackson State, but the rest of the HBCU. Somebody else can go there and take over at HBCU and make them dominate. Either way, you know, it still gives, you know, clarity. It still gives a big, big boost to these schools who deserve it. You know, just like every other school that gets the praise, rather it's a Cincinnati or whack Boston College. Hey, these HBCUs go play Boston College and they'll probably beat them. You know, so at the end of the day, it's all up.
Yes, sir.
Also, I really hope that whoever does take it over took some points and some very big key points on how to recruit, because getting recruits to that school will show what their future is gonna be. If they're able to take notes from Coach Prime, Coach Sanders, one of the best defensive players ever. As long as they learn that, they'll get some good players in there and be able to go. But real quick, as you guys know, I work third shift. It's time for me to get my butt ready and head out of here. Shout out to you two. The chop up was fantastic. We missed Will. Will, you'll be back. Shout out to you. Shout out to Unc. Coach Lee will shout out everyone in the comments today. It was great to see a couple people rolling through. My Jets are whooping butt right now against their old coach, so I'm pretty happy. I hope the end of the night rolls up well for you guys. I don't know how much longer you're going to be on, but great show tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Jake. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, Jake, man. Hey, we're going to get you that primetime insurance deal.
Hey, too, you know, I think we got a couple of more minutes. We'll talk about some of the stuff that I think you're talking about. We'll talk about that offline. But one of the things that was proven, I'm just going to say this. Think about some of his press conferences he had, usually on the field, when he would mention about the money situation at Jackson State. Yeah. How he would almost talk in third person to say that there's a lot of other schools, you know, within the SWAC that are stealing money from the football team. Mm-hmm. The football team not seeing, you know, their cut of what they should be going. I'm just going to throw that nugget out there.
Oh, yeah, that nugget's always thrown out there. That's what I'm saying. In terms of the next coach, too, like if Providence was getting swag with money, this next coach is definitely probably going to get that, because he's not going to be a bigger name than that. And the fact that we're hearing the things of Jackson State, even in the media, in terms of the money issues and all that, maybe that's the reason why he left too. We don't know. But it's going to get very, very, very interesting over there for the fact that Dion was there and he left. And now, hey, let's see what you can do with it.
We're going to see. I'm be interested. You know, UT is my that I follow, other than my Javelina. But I follow, you know, UT, but I will be following Colorado as well. I'm interested to see how this goes.
I'm gonna be a Colorado advocate. You know, I'm still a Boston College Eagles fan, but Colorado, I'm watching you. You know, I'm hearing the things. Let's see if you can find some time to play on TV. But in all, with the streaming ways, we gonna find him.
Oh yeah, and I'm interested. I'm watching him put his coaching staff together. You know, his report that he's already hired. He brought Taggart over, who was the coach at Florida State and UCF and a couple other places. I've got the other. I think his name is Lewis.
Yep.
The other coach he brought over is the OC. He got ties to Kent State, and he was the offense coordinator, I believe, for Deshaun at Clemson, if I'm not mistaken.
He was.
And then you got the rumor that his defensive coordinator might be Mike Zimmer. He's got NFL experience. So he's trying to put a staff together. But me, I'm also following it because I got a couple of buddies that have been on his coaching staff at different levels before. And I'm interested to see. I haven't had a chance to talk to any of them. I'm interested, to see if they take any roles with them. One of them in particular, when I saw him, I was like, I'm surprised you didn't go to Jackson State. He goes, I thought about it, but I wanted to see my son play. His son is playing D1 ball. He wanted to be able to go watch his son's games and stuff like that. But I believe his son is probably he might be a junior, maybe a senior now. But I wonder if after he's done, if he would join his coaching staff. I can see that potentially happening. It just rubbed me the wrong way, man. Like I say, somebody pissed me off in the group today, and use a derogatory term that I'm not gonna repeat. If you're in a group, you can go find it.
I won't go find it. Did you do something that you posted?
Yeah, but I had to set his ass straight, man. I just felt like he was out of line with it.
Sometimes you got to do that, man. Sometimes people just bring bad toxic and disrespect.
Yeah, I don't need that negativity. I don't do negativity. That's one thing about your boy, man. If it's something negative or if it's some shadiness going on, I will distance. I ain't got time for that drama. I don't do it. Never have, never will. I'm not the one to sit up want to argue with people and stuff like that. You know what? If you feel that strong about it, as long as you don't put your hands on me or disrespect me, it's all good. I'm gonna let you make it, man, because it ain't that serious. But I think a lot of these people just need to. It's weird. On my personal page, I posted today. It's more people pissed off about Dion going to Colorado than it is them being pissed off about the politicians that continue to lie to them. People's values are jacked up.
Brett Favre stealing money.
Yeah, and it ties into your story earlier of there's no morals anymore. People just are wilding out all over the place, and that's because you got silly MFers raising silly ass kids now. And the sad thing about it is these kids now, it all started with them doing the cinnamon challenge, the Tide Pod challenge. Now they shooting their parents and stuff because they don't get what they want. These are silly MFers that's going to be essentially running the country in the next 20, 25 years.
Right.
It's scary.
Doing the TikTok the election day. Come on, cut it out. Cut it all out. Got to get better, America. Got to get better. I want to send a rest in peace, man, to a sports icon, man. Famous quote, famous words. Let's get it on. Mills Lane, man. Rest in peace to you, man. Guy that caught a lot of great fights, man. And also caught a lot of great fights on Celebrity Deathmatch, you know what I'm saying?
He did.
We didn't know Mills Lane, in the boxing set. I know a lot of people in our generation watch Celebrity Deathmatch. So rest in peace to you, man. I want to give rest in peace as well to my guy Alex, man. You know what I'm saying? Charlie passed away, man. Not today, but man, we with you, man. It's about that time, anniversary, man, and it's whack, man. But man, we still living, man. We still up here living for you, man. And Mills, I always have that in my head. Let's get it on.
Let's get it on. Hey man, shout out to you guys, man. The chop up is always fun. We're showing that we can talk about other things besides sports. That's kind of what we want to do with the brands and bring different variety to everybody. We got a couple more shows. Season 4 is coming. Season 4 is coming. So we're in the early stages of planning for that, and we normally start our season after the Super Bowl. So continue to like, comment, subscribe, share, support us. We appreciate everybody that hung out with us tonight. Thank y'all very much. Without y'all, this doesn't happen. With that being said, make sure y'all hang out with us tomorrow. We're going to talk some NBA basketball tomorrow night.
Oh, we haven't had a basketball show in a long time. We had some topics, but we here tomorrow. We're going to have, we're going to bring the top 10 rankings, man. We're going to talk some other stuff, basketball. There's a lot of interesting things that's going on, man. But we're going to discuss a few, and we're going to get it loud in here for the Nothing But Basketball show.
Yes, sir. But, man, we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out with us, too. As always, brother, you knocked it out of the park. Jake, appreciate you, man. Jake always show up and show out. and Will. We saw in the comments. Oh, I forgot, man. I got to do my nightly thing, man. Shout out to Chris, Zachary, Unc, Jamie, Will, Bernard, Kawan, Bingle Chris, and Marie. We appreciate y'all, man.
Shout out to y'all, man. Always showing love, man. Coming through, man. We appreciate the likes. We appreciate the comments. Appreciate the shares. Overall, just the peaks. You know, appreciate you. Because without you guys, you know, this wouldn't be what it is.
Hey, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can't believe I bet on the Suns to win that game yesterday, man. Terrible.
It's over with. We own the Suns, man.
Who's your daddy?
All day. We appreciate y'all. Be at 7:30 tomorrow. Number basketball show. Appreciate y'all. Peace out.